Hey everybody, Ramey here, and today I'm going to talk about making your first blog. So you want to make a blog, you want to know what software how do you begin doing this thing, and what are some key things to keep in mind when you're going to do it. All right, so I deal with this all the time and help people start these things up. So I'm going to give you some advice that I've been giving out for years and years. The first thing you want to do is you have to pick a good topic. So, and obviously if you're watching this, you probably have some kind of topic in mind. So you're going to pick a topic, whether it's your life, whether it's a hobby you're interested in, whether it's professional or whatever. You're going to pick this topic. So you have this topic, you have all these great ideas. All right. The first few things you want to do are key to a successful blog. So the first thing, once you pick your topic, is to choose a software. So there is a bunch of different blogging software out there. I like to recommend, as a new person, you start out with a free piece of software that can be upgraded once you're ready to actually pay and do this. But I don't suggest just buying software right away. Because a lot of people, what happens is they have this idea for a blog and they're really motivated and they do a few posts and then they don't always use it. So if you start out free, there's no harm done if you decide that maybe it's not for you. So start out free. Some of the main services I recommend to people are Blogger, which is owned by Google. So if you already have a Google account, you're already signed up for Blogger. You can just go to blogger.com, choose your blog, start blogging. The next one I really like is WordPress. They're both free. WordPress and Blogger, both free to use. Both have awesome services. If you decide you want to pay and upgrade, you can do that. So I really like those two services to start. As a new person, I'd recommend you take a look at both of them, kind of compare them and see which one will work better for you. There are a bunch of other ones out there too, and some start free and some are paid, but I think WordPress and Blogger are definitely the two most popular. They've also each been around for a number of years. They're not like some new weird company that just came out. They are very well established. So those are my two starting points. All right. So you're going to create this blog. You're going to start thinking about some posts. Okay, so once you do that, you have to actually start posting to it. Now, a few things about your blog. So the first thing I would do if I were you is I would set a schedule. Set a schedule and say, I'm going to do one blog post every week. Or maybe you want to do one every day. Don't overextend yourself to start though. Might be better to say I'm going to do one a week or two or three a week to start rather than every day, because you don't want to just all of a sudden miss one and then you get behind and it's this bad cycle. Set a schedule. If you don't set a schedule, you don't want to just blow it off. You have to know it like in your mind. Every Monday there's going to be a post, so I know I have to get this done. Okay, so set a schedule. Once you've done that, you have your schedule, start planning out what you're actually going to write. So you have to plan it out. Like, it's usually really easy for someone to tell me they're going to do their hobby and they come up with a list of like 5 things, maybe 10 things they want to do. But what are they going to do when they've exhausted that list of 10 things? So figure out how you're going to extend this. What makes it something that you can post more than like 5 to 10 things? If you're just teaching people about it, maybe it is only going to be 5 to 10 things. So think about that. How do you make this something that you can do every single week or every day or whatever your schedule is? How can you continuously just keep coming up with new and new ideas? So think about that. Okay, so the next recommendation. If you're motivated to sit there and write like 10 posts, you don't need to actually publish all of them at one time. So you might sit there and write 10 posts, but then what you do is you publish one day, the second one maybe next week or maybe later in the week, and then the third one. So that way, if you're just really motivated one day and you have tons of free time and you write a bunch of posts, you don't have to publish them all out there at once, because there has to be a reason that people keep coming back, which is why I said set the schedule. And people want to know, like, every Monday, this blog is going to have a new post to it. So if you write a bunch of them at one time, you can space them out how you publish them. All right, so that starts to get into, well, how do I get people to visit this thing? Okay, so there are a few ways. You're going to hear this term thrown around. People are going to say SEO, SEO, SEO. I don't know if really many people know what that really means and how you really do it. But what it means is search engine optimization. How do you get Google and other search engines to find your blog? All right, there are all kinds of websites and people that are going to claim you got to do SEO, got to do SEO. And yes, there's some SEO is kind of important, but let me give you a clue. First of all, no one knows how Google finds websites. It's 100% secret. They will never tell anyone. So any company claiming they know how to get #1 in Google, well, they do know. Everyone actually knows how to, but there's no like magic to it. The magic is content. Content is king. The more content you have, and the more people that visit your site because of your content, the higher you're going to go up in the rankings. So the best thing I can tell you to do is to not get discouraged when after 2 weeks, no one's really read your blog. First of all, it takes a few months to even get indexed in search engines really well. Then you have to really grow it. So the more content you have, the more people are going to be able to easily find your blog. So content is king. So you hear this term SEO thrown around, just think in your head, content is king. When your blog becomes a little more established, there's some other things you can start to think about. And I've done some videos on SEO before and how to improve it. But honestly, focus on content at first. Content of your blog. Content is king. All right, next thing. Okay, so now you want to think about promoting your blog. How do you do that? So you have social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Know your audience and where they are. Maybe it's just your friends at first are going to do this, and ask them. One thing to do is ask them to share it. Say, hey, here's my blog. I'm just starting it. Would you mind sharing this? Here's what it's going to be about. People will share if you ask. So make sure you ask. Get that support if you can get it, because it's a lot of times it's free support. But again, the more content you have, the more people are going to come. If you pick a topic that tons of people are out there writing about, it's going to be harder to get an audience, but that's not to say you can't do it. All right, next thing, proofread. If you're specifically writing a blog, now I write a blog and I always look back and I always see mistakes. Even though I've proofread it 2 or 3 times, I still just find errors because I'm focusing on a lot of different things, but it's something you really, really want to do is make sure there's a spell check. Like glaring errors should be easily avoided with spell check. Checking a grammar program, you can use like Grammarly or something like that, but check grammar. All right, so those are the main things you want to do to have a good blog. It's really not rocket science. You pick a good topic that you are interested in. Look, if you're not passionate about this topic, if I just pick something that I kind of like, I'm probably not going to stick with it. I got to pick something I'm passionate about. If you're passionate about it, you're going to keep wanting to write about it all the time. Like I love technology, so I can sit here and blog about and talk about and do videos on technology all day long because I love it. There's technology coming out of my ears. All right, so pick a topic you love. Helps tremendously. Pick good software. Start free at first. Start free. If after 3 months or 6 months, you're like, you know what, I'm really into this and I'm doing it all the time, pay for a package definitely to have your own, URL and stuff like that. Like really pay to make it much better. But there's no reason to start out doing that. It's not going to be any more beneficial, except you might just lose some money on it. So start out free if you can to see if you're really going to do it or you're really going to like it. Next thing, space out all your posts. Make sure you check spelling, and the more content you have, the better your search rankings are going to be. Just remember, content is king. When you hear this SEO term, it's content is king. Just keep posting. Then finally, you have to work on marketing, but that's specific to your audience. It might just be that you want people from searching Google to find your blog, and that's completely fine. Like a lot of what I do, I write for myself and I go to it as a reference. And if people find it, that's awesome. But you can promote it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Always ask people to subscribe because they will. If you ask them, people like to support other people. Hopefully they're positive people and they like to do that. Friends, family, that kind of thing. So ask them for support. And that's it. It's really not rocket science. It's a matter of you sitting down, making time to do it, and really wanting it. Thank you very much.